Brother, stop hitting that fucking cable, man. You're driving me crazy.
Fucking inform me.
We recording, by the way.
Shy.
Yeah, no, don't mind that shit.
Cool.
It's all good.
Fuck
I'll listen to it fucking many times anyway, so it's all fucking good. Start it off.
Little bollocks shit. A spider on me hand. Fucking deadly.
Oh, let's get it.
Let's get it. Okay, welcome back to part 2 of our Toybox Killer episode. If you've come back for part 2, fair play to you. You have a good, strong constitution.
And if you haven't, we don't blame you.
And if you haven't, you won't hear this, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But
yeah, I don't know why we're talking to people who are not
listen,
listening.
if you're not listening, thanks very much. And if you are listening, also thanks very much. But no, seriously, the first part was fucking grim. I did warn you, but so nobody can come at me and say, lads, you could have said that was gonna be grim. I said it. It was grim. Part 2 is gonna continue to be grim. That's the nature of the beast when you're talking serial killers.
Yeah, and honestly, if you have trouble listening to something like this, turn it off. Like, seriously, turn it off. Don't listen to this one. Come back next Friday and we're going to be talking about something completely different that's going to be for you.
Yeah, and if you don't want to turn it off because you think we'll be upset with you, we will. No, but we won't. And also, we won't know because none of you tell us that you listen anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. So it's grand. So, we left off at the end of the last episode. Cynthia Vigil had escaped from her captor and had broken into old Darlene's house. So we're going to pick up from that point of the story. So what happened was David Parker Ray had gone to work one day while he had Cynthia in the toy box, strapped up. And as with most serial killers, they fucked up. And he managed somehow to leave the keys to the restraints just within reach of the chair that she was strapped onto, just within reach. So she managed to get the keys, unhook herself from the chair, unstrap her fucking wrists or ankles, whatever. She got out of the toy box, and when she got out of the toy box, Cindy Hindi, the old partner in crime, she spotted her getting out, and they got into a vicious fight. And Cynthia was able to stab Cindy and get away. So that's how we get to the running down the street in the nip.
And bloody
And fucked up.
Well, thankfully it wasn't her blood, I guess, if she stabbed Cindy.
Yeah, I mean, she had a cut on her head, so she must have gotten some scrapes along the way, in the fight.
Obviously, she got hurt herself.
Yeah, she must have got some hands, but... So, she got away, she ran off, got into Darlene's house. Darlene said, come on in, sweet child, like a lovely old southern woman. Yeah. I don't even know if she's southern. I don't know where New Mexico is.
I can imagine her having some fried chicken at the house, honestly.
Yeah, listen, if New Mexico is close to Old Mexico, it's got to be southern somehow. So, she must be a sweet old southern lady with an apple pie on the window. All that good stuff.
She's the superhero of this story.
She's the fucking real one. So, after being taken in by Darlene anyway, Darlene called the police, as one would in the situation. Coppers arrived like an hour, by the way, later, and arrested Ray and Cindy Hindi, as you do, because obviously she's fucking naked and bloody, and they went and said, they fucking had me in a toy box, go and check it. You're not going to move $100,000 fucking trailer with, no notice. Obviously they didn't get to fucking pump the drugs into her because she broke out, so that was ultimately like the fucking undoing of them, is that they didn't give her the old forget-me juice.
Yeah.
So they turned up an hour later anyway. They arrested David Parker Ray and Cindy Hindi, when they got to the house, they searched it, obviously. They found, as well as the toy box, they found hundreds of tapes, videotapes, cataloguing like the attacks. So he was obviously recording once camcorders became available to the public. Like, he was obviously got one and was videotaping everything. So they found tapes. They seen in the tapes that most of the women's heads were covered with like duct tape. So he like duct taped their heads up, or he had this box that he made, this like homemade box that he'd put their head in, and like he'd close it around their neck.
Yeah.
So they couldn't see. They could like fucking just in a fucking box, like no holes in it, nothing.
I'm just gonna say this. Wanting to blindfold somebody and doing it with a duct tape is the most inhumane fucking thing you can do. That's the worst, most disgusting way of blindfolding somebody.
Oh yeah,
Because-
it's gonna take your eyebrows, your eyelashes, your fucking hair.
Yeah, because with any sort of tape, the longer it stays on you, the harder it is to take off. Like, obviously you cannot take your hairs off if you just tape it and quickly remove it. But if you tape it, leave it for a couple of days and then try to take it off, it's gonna fucking rip your skin off.
Yeah,
Like, that's fucking awful, man.
yeah, that's true. By the time the news came out that they had arrested David Parker Ray and Cindy Hindi, his previous victim, who we talked about, Kelly Van Cleve, who was kicked out by her husband and found on the beach by our killer, she was divorced from her husband, and she was still tortured by nightmares of what had happened, but she didn't remember. But there was trauma there, and she obviously had it in her subconscious. The news came out, and her former mother-in-law was seeing the news, and she was thinking, this is a bit similar to how Kelly was when she had that fight with her husband.
Yeah.
So she believed that she had been a victim of David Parker Ray, and she got in touch with the FBI and said, look, my ex-daughter-in-law, she was found by a man on the beach and she couldn't remember anything. She, had injuries, whatever. The agents from the FBI, when they were looking at the tapes, they noticed that one of the women matched the description of Kelly that they had gotten from a mother-in-law. So they contacted Kelly and they went and they interviewed her and they were talking to her, and they noticed that she had a tattoo that they were able to see in one of the tapes. So, of course, that was enough evidence for them to kind of go, right, well, you were definitely a victim of his as well. So that's, now they've got two that they know about for definite who they are, and they've got them both. They're both alive. They're both able to testify, whatever. So they reviewed all the tapes, and they figured that he had tortured hundreds of women just from the tapes. Like, they were all different women. They could see that it wasn't just 2, 3, 4, like it was hundreds and hundreds of women. So in the tape, he made instructions for his victims, and he claimed in the tape, so in part 2, part 3, part 4, that he had murdered a number of women that he had kidnapped and tortured before. He also confessed to his girlfriend, Cindy Hindi, that he would dump corpses of his victims that he had killed in a nearby reservoir. So obviously, people are not going to go looking, just searching around for bodies if they don't have a reason to. So nobody would find them. So he, in his tapes, his tapes were just 45 minutes of crazy rambling, just non-stop, talking about all sorts of stuff. But he referenced, he had a lot of different partners over the years that helped him, because like he said in part 1, he was doing it since he was old enough to fucking have a wank. So you're talking 13, and at this stage it's 1999. He was born in 1939, so that's 60 years.
Yeah, and one thing about the tape that you played for us in the first episode is that he said we.
Yeah.
Every single time. He wasn't saying I will do this, I will do that. He was always referring to we.
Yeah. And you take into account he made that tape in 1993 and he met Cindy Hindi in 1997. So that was 4 years before he was with this woman who was helping him.
Yeah.
He also had his daughter helping him for a while. So then obviously before his daughter, like, who fucking knows who else was in on it, you know?
It's crazy how hard it is to break a cycle, because obviously his parents broke him mentally and physically and emotionally, and that made him a monster that he was.
Yeah.
And then he did the same thing to his own daughter.
Yeah.
You know? Imagine you are a criminal, not even to that degree. Let's say something much more innocent than that. You sell recreational activities,
Yeah.
you know, on the side a little bit. And then you have your son doing the same thing with you. You are literally not giving that kid even a remote chance at a normal life.
Family business.
Yeah, except this family business is 100% worse than whatever the fuck you can imagine people doing to other people. And also, look, it's already grim, so I'm fucking going there, man. Imagine a man is raping a woman and his daughter walks in and watches her father rape a woman. How fucking sick is that?
That's what I think is the weirdest thing about it, is like, it would almost make more sense if it was his son that was helping him. You know? Because he's kidnapping women. So you would think like his daughter would go, oh, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you kidnapping women and doing this to all these women? Like, what about me? What if it was me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would just, I don't know, it'd be less, not less weird, but how do you even say it? It just would make more sense if it was his son, because I don't know, it just, I feel like it would be easier to stomach if it was his son helping him. Now, I'm not saying he had a son, I don't think he did, but it's just strange that, you know, you don't, like, hey, daughter, come and help me fuck these women that I'm kidnapping and torturing. It's weird.
Yeah, just like to put it in perspective from our side, imagine somehow you find out that your wife or girlfriend is capturing and killing men, and you find that out, and you're like, okay, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'll help you. But then you go to bed at night next to the woman that is certifiedly killing men. Just, you know, same point as yours. How did his daughter sleep in the same house as him, knowing all of this horrific thing he does to women?
Yeah, like that's exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's wrong with his daughter that she fucking thinks, yeah, this is okay,
and that she thinks he's not going to do that to me?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's fucking madness. Like, it's madness.
Yeah, because like she could have never been certain that she wasn't the next person on the chair.
Yeah.
Because if that man can do horrible shit like that to random women, he can probably do it to family as well.
Yeah, let's say one night he goes out and he fucking doesn't get anybody. Fucking daughter's at home.
Yeah, she's right there.
I'll get her.
Yep.
You know, that, like, I suppose maybe from that perspective, she could have been like, well, if I help him get somebody else, it's not going to be me.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, maybe not, but maybe it was like self-preservation. Like, well, if he's got somebody else to fucking rape, he's not going to rape me.
But also, yeah, if we take into consideration, she was probably groomed from a young age. He
Yeah.
probably had her watching all that weird shit that his father had him watching.
True. Yeah.
Maybe to her, since she was born into that and grew up around that kind of shit and saw it as normal, maybe that to her that was just what dad does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just what my dad does. Like he's just like that. But also kind of against that point is that she went to FBI. She tried to snitch on him once.
Yeah. True.
And then she was like, okay, actually, this is not working. I'm going to join him.
But even that could have played a part in it. So she went, well, I went to the police and I said, hey, look, this is what's happening. And they went, that's all right. You know, she probably thought that their inaction was like, well, maybe it's not actually, maybe there's nothing wrong with it. If the police are not going to get involved, it must be fine to do.
Yeah,
You never know. Like, maybe that was the last thing that just went and her fucking head was gone, like, after that.
Yeah, maybe she was like, oh yeah, dad is obviously doing nothing wrong if police doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. Like, it's fucking, that's the thing that's so fascinating to me about situations like this. Like, obviously they're awful, you know. It's not a lot of podcasts now will do true crime stuff, and there's serial killer documentaries on Netflix, and it's interesting, but it's not. I feel like a lot of them kind of glamorize it, you know, like the Ted Bundy movie that came out. They got fucking Zac Efron to play him.
Yeah.
What? Zac Efron? You know, you would kind of go, oh, okay, well, Zac Efron looks like Ted Bundy. No, he fucking doesn't.
True.
He doesn't at all. When that movie came out, women were going to see it and going, oh, he's fucking lovely, isn't he? No. No woman should ever look at Ted Bundy and go, ooh, go for a bit of that.
Yeah, if they saw a picture of him without knowing who he is, he was a handsome man. Or he is, I don't know, is he still alive?
No, I don't think so. They killed him, I think.
Yeah, but like you said, if you fucking see a person that you know is a serial killer and you get a little tingly in your genitals, something is fucking wrong with you.
Yeah. But that's also, like, there's a lot of that goes on in America. They be all fucking writing letters to them and getting married to them and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. It is getting glamorized.
Yeah,
it is.
It does. And it like, I know we're doing a podcast episode, but we're not going, oh, this fella was great. It's deadly that he had a little fuck truck on his front garden to get women, and just like, no, it's awful. It's awful. But to me, like, it's the psychological side of, like, what happened to them. You know, you have to, especially as somebody with kids, I have to think, like, people are not just born serial killers, you know, because it has to be something that happens. You don't just, you're born and you grow up and in 14 years you start raping women. Something has to go wrong in your head. Something has to happen.
But a lot of people that are serial killers start showing tendencies of doing that at a very young age.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that most serial killers start by torturing and killing animals.
Yeah.
And that starts at a very young age. So, I don't know. I think that person might be predispositioned to be a serial killer. I think that there's obviously people who were not like that and then they become that. But I also think that there might be people out there who are just, that's the way they are.
Maybe.
They were born and from day one they were like that.
But that's the thing. That's the fascinating thing to me. Like, you know, because like I know a couple of episodes I joked to say like that my youngest son would absolutely stab a teacher or something because he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
But I obviously don't think he's gonna grow up and murder 15 people. You know, because he has a good solid family. You know, nobody's a nutcase. He doesn't have any fucking trauma. You know, he has all the toys. He gets the fucking what? Well, I say he doesn't have any trauma. He watches Mortal Kombat 24/7 on the fucking YouTube. But so if he ends up killing people, oops a daisy. That's the Mortal Kombat in him.
No, what I meant was, yeah, like let's say your kid might be more predispositioned, but his situation won't allow him to get there.
Yeah.
But maybe your kid would be easierly tipped off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe a child like that, even if they grow up in a normal family that has like one little weird kink, not kink, I'm just using that word, but something that is not right in that family,
Yeah.
that affects different kids differently.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different sensitivity level. To some kid, there's going to be like, oh, my family is great. Like, I love them people. Some people are going to see maybe they live on a farm and their mom kills a chicken because they need dinner, and that's going to tip them off. And
Yeah.
they're going to think that is the most traumatizing thing, and it's going to change them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I feel like some people are naturally more predispositioned to go into that kind of direction.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Jeffrey Dahmer. He had a pretty shitty childhood, but like he found a fucking dead possum or something one day and started playing with it. And his dad went, "Oh, like, what you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I just found this." And then what he would do is his dad would get like roadkill from the side of the road and bring it home for him to cut up to let him, because he was like, well, it's keeping him in the house. I know where he is. I know what he's doing. But like, you've given him dead bodies to chop up and play with.
Yeah.
That's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Sex zombies and cannibalism. That's where that goes. So maybe my kid finds a dead fucking fox out the back garden and goes, "Oh, look at this." And I go, "No, you don't. You don't do that. That's not right. You don't touch a dead animal. You fucking, what are you doing?" Then he goes, "That's wrong. I don't do that." And he doesn't grow up to be a nutcase. If I say, dig in, throw guts all over the place, have fun, serial killer, 100%.
Yeah, not even dig in, not even encouragement, but just you're kind of like impartial on it.
Yeah.
You don't swing him hard into the other side. I think that one kid is gonna be like, "Oh, fuck me, I don't want to even touch that shit. Like, what the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Other kid is gonna be curious, and then he's gonna have a good father who's gonna tell him, "Look, we don't do that shit." But then maybe there's gonna be one father who's just not gonna have a certain stance on it.
Yeah.
He's just gonna let it happen. And some kid is gonna walk away from that shit completely unscathed, and some kid is maybe gonna be fucking traumatized and is gonna start thinking about killing real people.
Yeah. But that's it. That's what I find fascinating about all of the serial killers. That's why I'm into all the fucking. I want to watch all the documentaries because I want to see, like, what the fuck happened to you? Why'd you chop your man's head off and have sex with it? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Just in case anybody doesn't know, John Wayne Gacy absolutely loved it. Chopped his man's head right off. Good lad. Ed Kemper, another one, absolute psychopath.
Should we get back into our story?
But anyway, so we'll get back to wrapping up our old David Ray Parker, see how he ended up.
Yep.
So FBI arrested him, looked at all the stuff, had all the evidence, all good. He was then, as is the good old custom in America, sentenced to 224 years in prison
God bless.
for the abduction, rape, and torture of 3 women. So that was only 3 women. They only had evidence for 3 women. Not like they had tapes and all that for hundreds of women, but they had no evidence. So he got sentenced to 224 years for abduction, rape, and torture. Today, police believe that he probably raped, tortured, and murdered as many as 60 women during an almost half century of crime that only ended with his arrest in 1999. He targeted mostly sex workers, drug addicts, and runaways because
Nobody's looking for them.
yeah, prostitute goes missing. What? Perks of the job. Somebody who ran away goes missing. Well, she ran away. Who fucking knows what happened to her?
Yeah.
You pick up a drug addict, they have a story. You go, look at you, you're on heroin. Who's gonna fucking believe you? You know what I mean? They're unreliable witnesses.
Easy people to bully.
Absolutely.
And easy people to kidnap because they are the on societal ladder, they are the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, nobody, you're not going to miss them, you know? Nobody's looking for them. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
cool.
sad world we live in, huh?
crazy. So, it isn't known how many women he killed, as he died before the FBI could interview him properly. In 2002, on the 28th of May, while waiting to be interrogated by state police, David Parker Ray died of a massive heart attack at the age of 62. So he did, 3 years in prison of his 224 and died of a heart attack.
So pretty much he got away with it.
He absolutely, 3 years in prison,
Yeah,
50 odd years of fucking raping and torturing people.
yeah,
I think he got off pretty light.
yeah. Well, brother, if there's any justice in the world, that man is fucking paying for it right
Oh,
now.
he's being spit roasted in hell.
Yeah. Like, it would be a really sad realization if you thought about it, that he just went to sleep and nothing ever happened to him anymore.
Oh, I hope he had a real violent heart attack. I hope he felt every second of it.
Yeah.
You know? Because they just go to sleep, have a heart attack in your sleep, and you've got off light as a motherfucker there.
Yeah, man, I really hope, like, for people specifically like him, that there is something afterwards that he's, like, made that whoever is behind it is making sure that he fucking knows why he's being done like that. Like, that shit would make it so fucking easy. Like, it would be so good, man. But anyways, come on, let's get
Fuck
into
it.
that shit. Oh, one interesting thing that you mentioned is that a woman who escaped had reached the key
Yeah.
that was very close by. That is one thing that always fascinated me, is because most of serial crime people, not even serial rapists, just people who commit crime on a daily basis, like people who just do serialized crime, they always go to jail or get a death penalty or get caught, whatever, because of some stupid mistake like that. I always wondered, is that maybe a little subconscious thing that they cannot fucking live with themselves anymore, and he left the key there subconsciously, knowing that she will be able to reach it and that she
Get
might
caught on
escape.
purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it could also be like he was doing it for 50 years. You just get complacent one day. You know? You fucking 50 years of doing everything perfectly, for fucking want of a better word. One little fuck up. One day you'll leave the kids a little bit too close. That's it.
But crazy.
It could be he's gone, oh, I'm fucking doing this 50 years. Maybe this is the one I let her get away. Like, maybe I let her get away and that's the end of it. She says nothing and I just stop.
Yeah, but what kind of obsession is that? 50 years. Let's just apply that to a regular person. Think of your favorite thing that you love to do. Whatever it is that you enjoy. Now imagine doing it constantly for 50 years. Wouldn't he stop?
No, see, I think it starts off small, you know? Maybe he rapes a fucking little girl when he's a young fella. And then maybe the next time he throws a little strangle in. You know what I mean? He didn't. Obviously, he's not fucking Toybox Killer from 12. You know?
Yeah.
Starts off small. Maybe he grabs a tit one day. Maybe he grabs a tit and says, I'm a fucking tit grabber. And he goes around grabbing tits for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then he's like, maybe I'm going to fucking put my hand up a skirt. The odd time, people are not going to see me coming. It's always evolving to the point when it gets to 100 fucking grand the trailer and sex toys and mirrors and step-by-step guides. It's not. So let's say I'm the pencil poker and I poke people in the ribs with a pencil. I'm not going to do just that for 50 years, For a year, maybe I'll poke you in the ribs with a pencil and I run away. But then it's going to be, I'll stick it in your ear this time.
Or I'm going to grab a knife and poke it in your ribs.
Maybe it evolves from a pencil to a knife or a fucking sword or whatever. That's the thing. I think it's not. You don't get a serial killer who does the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. They get caught. Like the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, used to break into houses, steal jewellery. Then one time somebody didn't have jewellery, so he raped her. Then that was his gimmick. He would break in, talk about Satan and rape you. He did that and only that for however many months. Same thing, got caught. If you don't evolve and change up your fucking routine, you're just going to get caught. Somebody's going to go, there was a rape over there, but it was the same as the rape that happened like last week, and the rape that happened 2 weeks ago, and the rape that happened 3 weeks ago. And the police will go, okay, this is the same person. Then they're going to pull patterns together and they're going to figure out what the fuck's going on. You have to mix it up. For any budding serial killers out there, change the game up.
Yeah, but just the fact of how depraved you are, that is something that you can do for so long, even if it's evolving. Think of whatever fucking sex you like to have, and now just think of constantly doing it. Variety is spice of life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want the crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just want to have a nice, loving, love-making session.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, to put it in perspective, how depraved mentally you have to be that your bottom line is such an extreme. Your bottom line, how you can have sexual gratification is raping people, and it goes up from that. That is insane, man.
Yeah.
That for that person, regular sex for him probably did nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Consensual woman says, wow, you are a lovely man, like, you know what I mean? I would like to sleep with you. He probably doesn't even see that as sex.
Doesn't even budge his dick.
Yeah.
Not a smidge.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm not talking about a lot of serial killers. I'm not just talking about this specific case.
Yeah.
I feel like his baseline was so fucked. Like, from where he started going up, it was already bad.
Yeah.
It was already awful where it started.
Yeah.
Like, and then when you kept reading and it just kept on going and going, like, if they didn't catch him, I really wonder where would he end up?
Yeah.
What would be the final thing for him that would be gratification? I cannot see, man. Like,
No.
I cannot even imagine.
I would fucking hope not. That's because if you could, then something's wrong with you. Like, there has to be. You get to a point where it's like it's too much to even comprehend. You know what I mean? You can't possibly imagine the sort of shit. Like, the sort of shit that even gets him fucking thinking about being hard. You're going, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going, oh my God. If he was listening to this podcast, he'd probably have a fucking horn on him like there was no tomorrow. And we're going, no. I don't even want to look at my girlfriend when I go home after this. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, things that happen to your gender is a disgrace.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, the stuff that this man did, and just the fact that it kept on going for so long, and the fact that he did all of those tapes and fucking step-by-step guides and took videos and forced people to watch that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, he really is simple. You cannot comprehend that kind of person, man. I would like if I could experience being in his head for one singular minute. I just want to see how the fuck does his brain operate. What the fuck does he think of when he's driving down the road? You know what I mean? In his
Yeah.
car. Like,
Madness.
what the fuck crosses your mind that you even find yourself in that situation? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. But it's like at the start of the first episode where I said he ticks all the boxes for fucking, you know, he's playing serial killer bingo. He's got the law. You know what I mean? Like the main traits for serial killers are, you know, he got so many of them from probably the age of fucking 3. You know, bad childhood, abusive parents, fucking bullied. You know, then the kink was encouraged. Like,
Yeah.
listen, everybody, if you're into fucking bondage or whatever, cool. You know, all good. Whatever you're into. But when you're 6 or 8 and you're going, oh, bondage. And then your dad goes, well, if you like bondage, have a go with some of this fucking hardcore shit. It's going to get you. You know, it's going to get you.
By the time that he ended up in prison and got caught, I would assume his father was not alive at that point.
Oh, I doubt it.
But if he was, by any chance, I hope that that man went to prison as well. Because
Yeah.
that person deserves every fucking day for the rest of their life to be in jail. The fact is that you did that to your own child. You don't deserve to be a free man. That your kid showed some interests at an age where he shouldn't be having them and you encourage that shit.
Yeah.
He is fucking as bad as the guy who did it, man.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. 100%. It's crazy. Like, if, let's say my son comes home from school and he's like, oh, you know, everybody in yard was talking about this. And I'm like, no, you fucking don't talk about that. You know, I'm not hearing it. It's not, you're fucking 8. You know what I mean? That's not something you're supposed to know about or talk about or anything. There's the clap. I don't want to fucking hear about it again. And then I'm like, I'm going to the school and I'm getting the principal and I'm saying, look, here's what your fucking 8-year-olds are talking about out in the yard. Do something about it. Talk to their parents, do whatever. But this man just went, oh, you like ball gags, huh? Here you go. I'll show you about ball gags.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucked it. Absolutely fucked it.
One interesting thing as well that I always thought was how all of them got that one story where they get so close to the fucking crime and they don't get caught that time. Like, he tortured and raped this woman for 3 days. He brought her to her fucking front door in his car.
Yeah.
And obviously, like we said, hindsight. Now when you're listening to that shit, it's fucking believable how that can happen. But then, like, yeah, nobody suspected of him.
Yeah.
You know, a guy brings your girlfriend home and your girlfriend is in distress or whatever, and he's like, oh, I found her like walking down by the road or whatever. Like, obviously, this day and age, you're gonna call the police. But you have at that moment no reason to doubt it, you know what I mean? Especially because I have a feeling, like most of them, he was probably a very charismatic person.
Yeah. That's one of the main traits of a lot of the serial killers, is that they have this, like, just unnatural charm that, like, everyone thinks they're great, you know? Like for example, John Wayne Gacy was friends with a lot of police officers. He used to go down to the police bar while he was actively fucking murdering women, and he'd drink with the police, and they were all like, he would tell them he wanted to be a policeman, and they'd be like, yeah, you should join the academy, and like they all thought he was great. And meanwhile, he's fucking murdering women and burying them under his house. That's the balls on the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know you're going to have a few drinks, you're going to go out later, you're going to pick up some fucking college-age girl, you're going to rape and murder her, and you're chatting the fucking shit with Officer Dickhead in the bar. The bollocks on the man to do that shit. That's insane.
Yeah, you gotta be different.
Yeah.
You gotta be different. But take a look at this, man. People that, let's just say, break into houses while people are sleeping. Put yourself in that situation. Middle of the night, let's just say you're hungry. You want to go in there, grab money and food and run out. You break into somebody's house, wouldn't you be shitting your pants?
Yeah.
Your heart would be running, you would be sweating, you would be full of fucking adrenaline, just wanting to get out of there soon as possible. And these people break into people's houses and shit, and they can just casually stroll around.
Yeah.
You have to
Madness.
be different. You are different if that kind of situation does not provoke in you a feeling that you don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
Like, force me to go break into somebody's house.
Okay.
And I can tell you immediately, I will hop out of there and I will tell you I never want to do that again, because I can already feel how I would feel if I was in that situation.
But it's like even on a more vanilla scale, say your girlfriend's in bed, she's not well. She's gone to sleep in the middle of the day. You forgot your phone charger. It's in there. You need it. You have to creep in without waking her up. Say your charger is under some shit. And you know it's under some shit. You go in there and you're like, oh fuck, I really don't want to wake her up. She needs to be asleep. She's not well. You're tiptoeing, you're creeping, you hit the floorboard that makes a little bit of noise. You're shitting yourself. And that's just waking up your sick girlfriend. That's not going into someone's house. You don't know your way around. You don't know where any shit is. It's dark. If you fucking wake somebody up, you're probably going to get shot because you're in America. You know? The fucking stakes are way higher.
Yeah.
And these people just, I'll walk in and do it. Fuck it. What happens, happens.
Yeah, I'll do it multiple times.
Yeah.
I will continuously do that.
Yeah.
You have to be, your brain has to be wired in a different sort of way.
Yeah, 100%.
If that's just something that, then we're not we're not even talking about extreme shit of murdering somebody. We're just talking about walking into somebody's house. That shit's scary, man.
Yeah.
And obviously, if it doesn't scare you, that means that these people do feel like predators. I guess they're not scared if somebody wakes up because they know they're gonna fucking kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not scared though this person is gonna wake up and, like you said, I'm gonna get shot. They're probably feeling, if this person wakes up, tough cookie for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unlucky for you, bud. But that's so like the main characteristics of a serial killer, research has shown, are like signs of psychopathy. So like, for anyone who doesn't know what a psychopath is somebody who doesn't have empathy or emotions. They don't feel anything. It's like, you know, say if you're walking down the road and you see a toddler walking down the road with their parents and they're cute and they've got their little fucking runners on and they're running and having a good time, and they fall out on their face, you know, and they cry and you go, you poor little fucker. Psychopath would just be like, oh well.
Yeah.
It doesn't even, they don't even think, oh, I don't care about that. They just don't care about it. They don't even think anything of it. You know, like, you don't have to care that kid fell over, but you would at least go, he's probably had the horn in his hands. Psychopath wouldn't even go, oh, maybe he's hurt his hands. He'd just be like, he fell over, and just carry on about their day. Doesn't make a difference. That's a psychopath. You know, you tell me that your dog died, and I'd go, oh, Joe, you must be sad about that because like you really liked your dog. No, serial killer doesn't give a fuck.
And I just want to add something, not to get it confused. Psychopath does not equal serial killer.
No.
There are psychopaths who are completely normal people that don't do anything illegal. They might be your doctor. Like, being a psychopath is not an inherently a bad thing.
Yeah, it gets that connotation like, oh, don't go near him, he's a psychopath. But like, actually, medical term psychopath is not, like you said, doesn't equate to murderer or rapist, or it just a 100% lack of emotion, a lack of empathy, a lack of anything. There's no feeling.
I'm just gonna say this: you have more than likely interacted with a person that's psychopath in your life.
No, absolutely, yeah.
I just wanted to
100%,
I just wanted to make that distinction between it, because I feel like a lot of people automatically connect that word with something bad.
Yeah.
You know, like a psychopathic person can be a nurse in a hospital. They can be a really damn good nurse.
Yeah, because they don't give a fuck.
Because they're not emotionally, they will always make a logical, sound decision.
Yes.
Their emotions won't get into the way of their job.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but like, that's one characteristic, you know, and probably a lot of serial killers do have that, but a lot of serial killers also like are motivated by rage. So if you're a rage motivated serial killer, you're not a psychopath.
No.
Because you do have that emotion and those feelings. Like a psychopathic serial killer would be somebody who's just cold as fuck. Just like, oh, well, why did you kill all those people? Oh, I just did.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. Yeah.
I just did. I didn't, you know, oh, do you have any remorse? Like, no, I just did it. It is what it is. You know, that's a fucking psychopath. Like, that's cold-blooded, just
and
doesn't give a fuck.
And it's not in a way, like you said, rage. Let's say this person who got mentally damaged, his mother had red hair.
Yeah.
So he now picks out women with red hair.
Yeah.
Like you said, like psychopath is a type of like, I killed them because they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't feel nothing to them, you know, like I don't give a fuck who they are.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck. They're not nothing to me. It's just I was in an opportunity to murder them, so I did.
Yeah. And it's also, so the sort of a serial killer where, you know, I break into a house and I beat the fuck out of somebody with a hammer. That's not a psychopath. Because it takes too much, there's too much rage involved in the act of beating the fuck out of somebody with a hammer. You know what I mean? A psychopath would more walk in and slit your throat. Quick, easy, doesn't even think about it. Walks in, slits your throat, moves on to the next fucking part of their day. That's what your psychopath is going to do. You know, that's the difference. Like, there are so many psychopaths, like you said, regular fucking normal people. Some of the best people, probably, because they don't get blinded.
No drama.
Yeah, just me, you know, I don't give a fuck. No, obviously, I'm a very angry man for the size of me, as I've been told. But as well as psychopathy, they have egocentrism. So, like, you know, I'm the best. Everything is about me. I'm the main character. You know?
The God syndrome. I decide who lives and I decide who dies.
Absolutely. Yeah. I get to say who gets to fucking keep on breathing or who gets to be free or whatever.
I mean, like, when you look at it from a perspective of a person that is like that probably gives them a massive feeling of power.
Yeah.
You have power in your hands to take somebody's life. For most of us normal people, that is something that you don't feel like it's gonna be a good feeling to you. But to some people, that probably feels like fucking dopamine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I am the person who's gonna fucking take your life away.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. I mean, geez, like, the more we talk, like, the more we're starting to sound like serial killers, I'm realizing. But what I'm trying to say is, I can see how to somebody that would cause a pleasant reaction in their
of
brain.
course.
You know what I
Everybody
mean?
wants to be in charge of what happens. You know, that's a natural thing. Everybody wants to be in control of their own fucking life. So I want to drive out of here and go home and there's no traffic. I don't want anybody to fucking turn into my lane without indicating. And if they do, I want to rip their fucking head off. But I'm not a nutcase, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go, you fucking prick. Use your indicators and then I'm going to go about my day. You know? Whereas a fucking serial killer might go, I'm going to follow him home. I'll show him who fucking cuts me off in traffic. And then I beat the piss out of him with a fucking tire iron because I'm rage-filled.
Yeah.
That's the sort of shit. That's what separates us from the serial killers. I'll just go home and be like, oh, some fucking knobhead cut me off on the M4. You know what I mean? Fuck that prick.
At the end of the day, brother, it's a conscious decision that you make to take somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know, like at the end of the day, can I have sympathy for that shit? Whatever. No. I can understand how that makes you feel, but still, you did it.
Yeah.
You fucking picked up the hammer and you bashed somebody's skull in. I cannot have any form of sympathy for you. You deserve whatever's coming your way.
Yeah, you get what you get.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because like we were talking about now, you can understand it, but you cannot comprehend it.
Yeah.
It's such a difference. Like you can understand their point of view, but it's so far away from your point of view that you cannot put yourself in their shoes. Like you said, you know, like a little kid falls down, you have family issues or whatever. I can feel sympathy towards you because I can put myself in that situation. Yeah. I know how I would feel if that was happening to me. But when somebody does shit like that, it is so far out of reach for us that you cannot put yourself in their shoes, man. You cannot even think about it because it's just, that's so opposite of where you're standing. You cannot twist that far.
Yeah. And if you can, you might be a serial killer.
Hey, if you can, fucking keep all that shit to yourself. Don't talk to anybody about that and don't do anything.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to know. If you have any serial killer-like tendencies, keep that shit far away from us.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody tells me like that on the Bacon Boys Instagram account, I'm snitching. I'm straight snitching like that. You're going to prison.
Yeah.
Like, I'm no bro code over here.
I'm going to be like Tekashi 6ix9ine. I'm going to fucking rat on you all day long. It was him. Fuck you. Straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect €200 to prison with you.
Shall we wrap it up for today?
I think, do you know what? I think if we don't, maybe I'll murder somebody on the way home. Who fucking knows?
I just want to say a couple of words for the end. Yeah, we understand that all of this was like heavy topics to discuss, and we really did keep it very respectful. And rest in peace to everybody who was a victim of a crime, and like we really didn't intend no disrespect to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anybody has any, has been affected by any topics covered in the podcast, we hope that you're doing better. We hope that you're all right. And if you need to talk to somebody, get in touch with someone. Get that out.
Yeah. And if you would like to hear more of kinds of these stories that you personally would like us to cover and talk about, feel free to hit us up like on email, on Instagram, or YouTube comments, whatever. Like, we have a very small community surrounding our podcast, so we read everything. And if you have any sort of things that you would personally like to listen to, just let us know. We will take it into consideration.
We love all 6 of you that listen.
Yeah, we do. All right. Have a nice day, everybody.
Bye-bye.